Hello, welcome. We're here at the Onstage Hacknight. I'm Seb Johnson from Scaling Europe, and I'm joined by Jamesin. Can you give us a quick introduction into who you are?
Yeah, of course. Hello, my name is Jamesin Seidel, and I'm a general partner at an early stage fund called Chapter One.
And can you talk a bit about what we're doing here tonight and why we're here?
Yeah, we're hacking.
We're hacking. We are hacking.
Yes, we're hacking. No, I'm pumped. So this is the Onstage Hackathon, and a one-night hackathon. The goal is to build a company that will be worth, is it 1 million or 3 million?
$1 million.
1 million. Okay, so $1 million
hours.
in 3 hours. So I'm excited to see what the results are.
I feel like the challenges are getting bigger and bigger. There's more hackathons. Build something worth $1 million in 3 hours is no easy thing to do.
What do you think you would build?
I have absolutely no idea. I don't know whether you would go consumer or B2B. I don't know.
Yeah, it would have to be something. You'd have to do a stunt as well.
Yeah,
like there was has to be a stunt to get in revenue probably.
You've got to go viral.
Yeah, you have to.
You've got to build something
go viral
and go viral in 3 hours.
Yeah, you have to build a really structured pipeline. Front end, and then a flashy front end, structured back end, but then also somehow a viral video.
Yeah. In 3 hours.
In 3 hours. But no, it's good. I feel like with hackathons, there's so much planning that goes into it, and there's always this anticipation beforehand. And then when people show up and everyone's actually building and coding, it's really exciting.
There's always a great atmosphere.
Always.
It's like when people, it's like as soon as the hacking starts, it's like, okay, this is.
Yeah, I want to build, bring my real work here, and because you just feel focused.
Yeah, it's an amazing environment, right? Everyone's super switched on.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about, you're a VC.
Yep.
You probably value businesses all the time.
I do.
What would a business need to get to be valued at $1 million in 3 hours?
Oh gosh. Well, it's really, it's tricky nowadays. Now, of course, you can raise $1 million without any revenue or anything. But I think it's a hard question because it's, the being valued at $1 million versus $1 million revenue is obviously very
different.
Very, very different. But I think right now, I guess what we're seeing in the pre-seed and seed market at early stage is it's all about building velocity. Mm-hmm. And so, I think the teams that are the most successful right now are the fastest builders, and it's absolutely incredible what people can get up so quickly. So I think that it comes down to velocity.
Yeah. Okay. So it's something that they've been able to show that they've built something outpacing everybody else, right? Something more substantial, meaningful, even if it's not revenue.
Right.
Right. Something that is, solid, big.
Yeah, something that's big and a big idea too. I think. That's the. I think now it's funny because there was this iterate or die type of era. It felt like years ago when you have all the big companies like Airbnb or whatever, and you have all these dream stories of, they're iterating and then they finally, and the best idea. And then it almost felt like this period before AI when it was really hard to iterate because there was a lot of established players in the market, like B2B SaaS,
especially SaaS, yeah.
And then now with AI, we're in this whole new generation where it's iterate or die again. The teams are able to find their way, or we've seen so many teams that are able to find their way into unbelievable markets by just really moving quickly, shipping code, and then also really having quick and successful go-to-market strategies.
Yeah, and it's linked to this customer obsession, right?
Yes,
and it's if you're close to your customer, you understand their pain points, you just build for them. Every single time, it's about building for them. Can I ask, how long have you been investing for?
So I've been at the fund for 4 years now, and I was an engineer data scientist before that.
Okay, that's an interesting transition. Was that something that you always wanted to do? How did you get into it?
Yeah, so Jeff Morris is the guy who started Chapter One, and his background. So he was he grew up on Sand Hill Road, and then was at Tinder he led Tinder's revenue team from 20 million to 1.2 billion.
Wow.
And then he became kind of the product person in San Francisco and LA. And then from that ended up building his own venture fund. And when he thought about people that how he was trying to build his venture fund, he really wanted to bring in almost like a product org. So he wanted people with engineering skills, with data science skills, with design skills, and that's essentially how I got hired. We connected through a friend, and he was really looking for someone with a engineering data science background. And so I joined the fund, and actually when I first joined it, initially I was just building out data systems in order to source founders, and then switched over to the investing side.
Amazing. And was that off the back of the success of your sourcing systems? I imagine it gave you like an amazing insight.
The sourcing systems are so cool, and we still use them to this day. And they're really successful, and I think like especially as an early stage fund, it's a really fun edge to have. But it was more that I think Jeff and I just have really complementary skills. So
Amazing.
He's like the product guy, and then hopefully I bring some sort of technical spin to things.
And has the way that you are either assessing or sourcing founders changed since the kind of birth of AI? We're also seeing a lot more AI tools like people like Harmonic or Spectre who are like meant to, some people call it like democratizing access to founders, because you've got these amazing tools, you've got these AI agents who can help find you founders. Has that diminished that sort of advantage or alpha that you might have had through your building, or how has it impacted you sourcing founders?
Totally. I mean, to give you a concrete example here, I had lunch with a DeepMind engineer the other day, and he said within 5 minutes of switching his LinkedIn profile, he didn't even say starting something new. He just switched it to end date at DeepMind.
No way.
He had within 5 minutes, 20 inbox DMs.
Wow.
Of people trying to get on a call with him.
That's crazy.
And it wasn't even like I'm building a company or I started something new. It's like just people have these data triggers where if someone from one of these big companies leaves, they're on it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and so I think there's so many of these data tools, and like I think and it is great for, if you put yourself in stealth, you'll probably get inbound from VC and start those conversations. Yeah, I think for us, it's just been like kind of using, like trying to build bespoke data systems, and also ones that have that are a bit different and are getting at like different profiles than those ones, because it is like you don't want to be on the same alpha that everyone else is on.
Yeah, of course, right. And I was thinking, does that mean, does that push people earlier and earlier? Like, do you start building relationships before they've even left?
High school. No. I think that's a lot of it. Like, and I guess that's the part of venture that's like network and ecosystem building and everything like that. Because you're like, if like it would be great if you get the introduction if someone's leaving Stripe as a staff engineer and to start a company, and you just get the direct intro.
Yeah. And has that played a role at all in you setting up the engine room? Can you talk a bit about that and I guess why you've decided to do that?
Yeah, super excited. So the Engine Room is a new program that Chapter One and AI Engine launched this week, and it'll be a 1 week sprint, and we're giving 8 teams £5,000, taking no equity, so like really no strings attached, and to just build for the week. And what we're really excited about is that I think like there's a lot of accelerators and hackathons these days, and I mean I love hackathons, run a bunch of them, they're always so exciting, but it just always feels like like if you build something cool in a weekend, like what's the next step?
Yeah.
And then with accelerators, they're taking 8%. And a lot of times if you're applying, maybe you don't even know if you want to be a founder.
Yeah.
And so we really want to give this like opportunity in the space. So if people have, are excited about an idea or have done a side project, or even they're a PhD and they want to, commercialize some of the work that they've done, to give an environment so that, they can have a real shot at that. So it'll be put on November 10th through 14th, and applications are open and starting to roll in now. And yeah, we're really excited. No one's done anything like this in Europe, and I think it'll also create like this really cool, tight-knit community of engineers and builders.
And because I think it's in the evenings, right? So they do their job, and then they come in the evening for 5 days that week, and they just spend the evenings hacking.
Yeah, from 5 to 10.
Amazing. So have you started to you said the applications start coming in?
Yeah.
Have you got any, are you looking at these people thinking, okay, these are already really interesting builders, hackers? Like, are you seeing that talent come through already?
Yeah, and I think that's been what's really exciting the past 24 hours, because like same with like hack nights, you like try so hard to like organize it, and you really want to get cool sponsors in and like great builders and all that stuff, but like you really don't actually know what people are building until the projects are submitted. And you're like, oh, this is actually sick. And what's nice about reviewing the applications is some of the profiles are absolutely exceptional, and I think it really speaks to the talent that's in Europe, the talent that's coming out of top universities, the talent that's coming out of some of the fastest growing companies right now. So yeah, it'll be good.
Amazing. Well, I can't wait to see it. But look, thank you so much for joining me. It's been great chatting.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yay.
All right, I'm back. We're here on Stage Hacknight. I'm here with David. David, can you just give us a quick introduction to who you are and what you're doing here as well, I guess?
Thanks very much, Seb. Hi everyone, I'm David. I work in the investment team at Antler, and we're one of the partners tonight who are supporting the Onstage Hackathon.
And how exactly you support it? Because it's quite interesting.
We are driving basically talent here tonight. So Antler is a very, very early stage investor in the UK. We back founders at day zero. That often means we back founders who are pre-starting a company or even a team, and a lot of our individuals are high potential engineers who are looking to meet co-founders and are out in the ecosystem at hackathons, attending events such as this, and we drove a lot of our community here tonight. How
do you build that community of people who are not actively being founders yet? Right? How do you find them?
You have to look under rocks and here, there and everywhere basically. So our community initiatives are focused on finding outliers from any walks of life. So we look, as many VCs do, at high growth venture backed tech companies. Mm-hmm. So a lot of our individuals that join the Antler cohorts will have seen the 0 to 1 in some form or another themselves, as either a former founder or an early employee at a venture-backed tech company. I think that's really important, is having at least seen how high growth tech companies scale in the manner that they do. But we have an open door policy, right? Like you have to, we're all about backing outliers, and outliers can come from anywhere.
Yeah.
We don't subscribe to the fact that founders need to have concrete founder market fit or domain expertise. The winners are often just the individuals who execute better and hustle harder.
And I think, I was going to say, I think it's really interesting because this idea of the founder model that VCs are looking for, like you always see a lot of it about whether it's like repeat founders or X so-and-so, X Revolut, X whoever. But it often seems that VC is such a game of outliers.
Yeah.
That actually, even when you're looking for the outliers, there are outliers of those outliers, and there's no one size fits all.
No, exactly. I think the way the VC industry is going is that everyone is using these data-driven VC tools that are looking for all the same markers on LinkedIn, and as soon as a founder goes into stealth, if they have worked in a company or have the right educational background, they're getting 100 outbound messages from every VC around the UK, US and Europe, and it's no longer an advantage anymore because everyone's playing the same game. So you have to look in different places.
This is exactly what I just spoke to Jamesin about, and she was saying that she went for lunch with an engineer at DeepMind, and all that they did was update one of their work biographies to say that their date had ended, and they hadn't announced a stealth and a new thing, and he said within 5 minutes he'd got 20 messages.
It's insane. There's a VC from Peak VC in Berlin, you might know her, but she tried it herself and wrote a big article about it. She updated her LinkedIn profile to stealth, and I think it was like 250 messages in the first weekend since she did that.
No
she got
way.
From VCs. Yeah.
Wow. And I've used some of those tools yourself, and they give you almost like a ranking or a rating based on certain attributes or characteristics. It does feel, and I think I saw a post go viral of somebody who had just gamified it, and they put in their experience, engineer at Tesla, engineer at Amazon, product manager at whatever, and then they just went into stealth and they got outbounded by like 300 people, and they used it for their own business because it was a great story that they went viral with.
It's a problem, right? Because I guess another thing that I work on, I'm going to get the plug in there, is an organisation called Social Mobility Ventures, which focuses on backing founders from state schools in the UK, with a view to supporting those from disadvantaged socioeconomic backgrounds. And a lot of the markers that data-driven VC is tracking is correlated with privilege, basically. So elite education, elite career and job prospects, and we all know that skews towards those who come from immense privilege and have access to the networks that most people don't. So I'm concerned about how that will impact social mobility in the UK entrepreneurship scene.
And how are you, with Social Mobility Ventures, trying to counteract that?
We are creating an ecosystem and community of investors who are willing and open to support founders with an open door policy and give them honest feedback on what they're building as to whether it's venture scale or not. I think that's what the ecosystem, especially in the DEI world, in tech and VC, has lacked in the last few years, is giving people honest feedback on what they're building. Like, don't string people along if what they're building is never going to reach the scale or is solving a problem that a VC is going to get excited about. So we're all about candid feedback to help people get on that journey should they want to.
And what's the reception been like from the VCs that you've been reaching out to or partnering with?
It's been great. We have hundreds of investors who are now part of our community.
Amazing.
Those from State School and those who aren't. We're supported by Atomico and Local Globe. And we are creating hundreds of investor introductions on a monthly basis between our founder community and the investors who we work with, and the reception's been fantastic.
That's amazing. Have there been any success stories, anything that anything that you're really proud of, where maybe there was a founder that you made a really crucial introduction to or something like that?
Of course, yeah. Well, many of the introductions have gone on to be leading funding rounds. So
amazing.
Yeah, we've had a pre-seed round right now, which is not announced yet, but they've just raised £2 million on the back of introductions we made. We're really going hell for leather with it and making 50 plus introductions to investors where we really believe in the companies themselves, and in the future would love to be able to back them through the syndicate we're building around this community.
And that's the vision, is it? To build a syndicate to co-invest or lead rounds into some of these founders?
Co-invest,
yeah. And then maybe one day raise the fund.
Who knows?
If it goes well.
If it goes well, I mean, there's an opportunity here, right?
All right. So you've backed you've introduced founders that have gone on to raise real money.
We have, yeah. We've backed many founders who have gone on to raise real money.
And is the syndicate up and running? Have you started to invest alongside or not yet?
We're looking for our first deal right now from the syndicate.
No way, that's exciting.
Yeah, we have about 50 angels lined up. We're looking to do checks of 50k plus into pre-seed rounds, and then bring on our investor community to lead that funding round alongside us.
So would you wait for a successful introduction and then invest alongside them, or are you saying, look, we want to invest in this founder and we're going to do everything that we can we're going to write that ticket, and then we're going to do everything that we can to fill out the round with our investor community?
Exactly. Yeah, we back first, right? This is the problem, is that individuals who come from this background don't have the access to networks, and they need the social proof and the social capital of people who want to back them. So we back founders first, then we use our network to get them in front of as many VCs as possible.
That's amazing. And I want to take it back to the Hacknight before we finish up. The winner of this is joining Antler for a residency, is that right?
That's correct.
So what is that? It's 10 weeks.
Yeah. We're live right now, so the Antler residency kicked off last week. It's our biggest yet. We have more than 100 founders who are currently in the office, so it's pretty crazy right now. And whoever wins this hackathon, we want them to join the Antler residency with a view to invest up to £500,000 by the end of the year.
That's amazing. And of that 100 founders that you've got in, 100 builders, how many would Antler typically back?
We have no upper or lower limits. In the last cohort, we backed about 37 founders out of 90.
That's amazing.
So we're looking to do upwards of 15 investments for this cohort right now, maybe more, who knows.
Amazing. Well, David, thank you so much for joining me, and thanks for your support, I guess, and helping to put on this amazing event.
Thanks so much, Seb. Cheers.
Cool. I'm here with Hector Jamesin, co-founder of Onstage, partner at episode 1. What are we doing here today?
We're at the Onstage Hacknight.
Yes, we are. What's going on?
We've got how many people are here? Do you know how many people are here? I imagine 50 people.
Feels like 50
that.
or 60.
Yeah.
People are dotted around.
Cracked engineers who are looking to build the next decacorn.
And
they have 3 hours to build something notable, and if they win, they're going to get to pitch at Demo Day.
Yeah, let's go.
The Onstage Demo Day.
And what have they been asked to build?
I don't know.
Something worth
something worth £1 million.
Something worth £1 million in 3 hours. As a VC, what would a business need to look like to be valued at £1 million?
To be worth £1 million as a VC, I mean, it's
You know,
like
if you-
practically non-existent. I mean, you know, we're getting people with ideas that are worth even more than that. So
But what does it
um,
take?
someone needs to have a good early product, some product vision, a lot of ambition, and they need to be tackling a problem that's fairly unique. So we've got to believe that there are real people facing a pain that they're solving, and that there are enough of those people.
To make it work.
Yeah.
And you're judging tonight.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to be looking for? Some sort of validation of a real problem?
Yeah, I mean, a huge part of it is the speed of development. So, you know, if we can see that people have built something really, really quickly that should have taken much longer to build, then that's a super strong signal for us.
Interesting. So it's about the ability of a team to have built something in a really short space of time.
Yeah.
Even if they haven't got revenue or traction, but have built something that built a real product.
Build a real product and have just proven that they are outlier, that they're outpacing everyone else.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
And so you co-founded Onstage 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Next week is the demo day. First one in person.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Great. The location's going to be amazing. We've been filtering through the companies. They look incredible. We're going to have a room full of the best VCs globally, people flying in, founders and VCs, to watch the pitches. We're really, really excited to see some of those pitches. I think at every demo day so far, there have been some breakout companies that have gone on to raise tens or hundreds of millions of pounds. And so the excitement is always in thinking which is going to be that or those companies this time.
And do you think you've got a good indication, or like how much you back yourself to?
I know exactly which company is going to be worth 10 billion.
It's exciting. Some of them have been amazing companies that have come through Onstage.
Yeah.
And like, what about this cohort has been different or interesting compared to other ones?
It's a good question. I mean, every year we see the quality increase as our brand improves.
Yeah.
We're able to attract better founders. And so the notable change is just how difficult it is filtering down to the top 20, because really there are 30, 40, maybe even more companies that are really credible. And the painful thing for us is that we know we're going to miss some amazing companies.
Yeah.
Just as YC miss amazing companies, just as every VC misses some amazing companies, we've all got our anti-portfolio.
Yeah.
But that's painful to know and to accept that truth.
Yeah. Interesting. You mentioned YC. Every company that goes through YC is a YC company, right? And it's like YC X25, whatever it is. Would you like that to be Onstage? Would you like to get to the point where the brand is so established, the success has been so huge that companies now would become, we went through Onstage? Yeah,
look, what YC have built is absolutely incredible, and I think they have an extraordinary brand. I think what we're trying to build is something a little bit more grassroots. We're sort of crowdsourced deal sourcing through our 350 VC partners.
Yeah.
We're crowdsourced decision making. Those partners vote on the companies they want to see pitch, and the top 1% get to pitch. And so we want to create something very community driven, that's really founder friendly, investing on really commercial terms that don't take advantage of founders at all. And we think there's a space. We've heard from founders over and over that there's a real space for that. So we're leaning into that.
And do you see there being a risk with relying on crowdsourcing, that you risk missing out on the outliers if it's sort of like, it's the most popular or the most commonly selected companies?
Yeah, absolutely. And so there are different layers of voting and filtering, and every cohort we do add some that we think are particularly special, because no one cares more about the companies that get to pitch than the Onstage team.
Yeah.
So we go through every company individually, and always the VC partners miss a handful of companies that we think deserve a spot on demo day.
Amazing. And during this process, right, from the company submitting their application to pitching on demo day, What happens in that time? Are you seeing companies that are fundraising and that end up falling out or raising around, or what happens in these few weeks?
So often companies will use Demo Day as a milestone to kick off their fundraise.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But yeah, sometimes there are companies that are raising in the run up to Demo Day. But what we often find is that those companies are able to pour fuel on their fire at Demo Day. So they've got a number of funds leaning in. They might even have a term sheet, but they're going to say to those investors, hey, look, hold off. We've got Demo Day coming up. And they'll get a bunch of inbound from other VCs, FOMO from the VCs, and they'll be able to get better terms for their round. And
Amazing.
more choice.
So it creates more heat.
Much more heat. We're all about creating heat.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
And so you do this twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been, you've ever thought about doing it more frequently? You think twice is enough?
We create a lot of noise on LinkedIn.
Yes.
So I think doing it more than twice a year is not the right approach. I think twice a year, we were able to go out with a real bang, attract the very best companies and founders. I think doing it more than that, we have thought about it. We might create some kind of always on type platform,
Okay, yeah.
a sort of locus where founders can be matched with investors, the best founders with the best investors throughout the year. It's something we're exploring, but there's no solid plans yet.
Interesting. And when you talked about your anti-portfolio and companies that you've missed, do you follow them on their journey? Do you kind of keep an eye on them in case there's like future opportunities, or is that kind of, has that ship sailed?
Yeah, naturally, we follow our anti-portfolio. It's good to do because you can learn from those mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm a partner at Episode 1, and we found that when we look back at the companies we wish we'd invested in, we'd often pass because the valuation was too high, or we felt it was too high. In retrospect, we should have invested. So it's helped us to be a little bit less valuation sensitive, which has actually helped us get into some great deals that we're really happy we are investors in now. Are
prices too high now?
Well, look, I mean, so there's certainly inflated AI valuations, but I think what we're underwriting as investors at this point is companies eating into the TAM of the cash spent on wages and employees, because those jobs that were being done by humans are now being done by AI.
Yeah.
So the TAM of services and wages is like 70 or 100 times bigger than the software TAM that previously we were underwriting.
Yeah.
So the opportunity's there, yet to see how it plays out, but there are certainly going to be many generational companies from this wave.
And as a VC, that you go through the peaks and troughs of bubbles and waves or whatever, does that change the way that you evaluate or look at companies, or do you still try and ignore the market dynamics and just focus on the company in front of you?
To some extent, you have to ignore the market dynamics in the sense, we need to be thinking from first principles. We need to have an eye on valuations and not getting carried away. We were sensible through crypto. There was a lot of hype around that as well. So these things do, the cycles return.
Yeah.
You do try and learn from any mistakes. You have to be aware of what's going on, but I think it's sensible to keep investing. There are some great opportunities out there. You don't have to follow the hype. You need to think about how defensible a company is, and you can do that. Think about network effects. Companies that can have real long-term defensibility. Winner takes all opportunities. Deep tech is a great place to be investing in at the moment.
Sure.
Super technical founders, where there's very few people on the planet trying to solve the problems they're going after, and few people who can actually solve those problems.
And can we talk on Jack and Jill? So Jack and Jill have just announced their round, but you invested pre-seed earlier this year.
Yeah.
Did you post on LinkedIn about it today?
Yeah.
I think the story was that you emailed them at 6. Can you tell the story of that?
Sure. So I met Matt. We backed Matt with his last company, Omnipresent.
Mm-hmm.
And we stayed in touch ever since, and told me he was working on something new, so we met up. He showed me the product. I went away and played on it that evening, spoke to Jill, the company side recruiter, and Jack, the candidate side recruiter. Thought it was an incredible experience. My signal for super high conviction is it's keeping me up at night. So in this case, I woke up really early. And when that happens, I know like there's something special here.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, I've just got to draft Matt an email 6:30 Saturday morning, sent him a heartfelt email saying, right, how do we make this work? And yeah, very quickly we were got the episode 1 team behind the deal, and we were in.
Amazing. That must have been 4 or 5 months ago.
I think it was 4 months
Just over
ago.
summer,
Yeah,
just
when it
announced
closed,
the
probably.
siege.
Yeah.
At what stage of traction were they then? I know they've hit 50,000 users now. Was this pre-launch?
It was very early. They had maybe like a few hundred candidates on the play. It was very, very early, but there was momentum, and it's just an amazing opportunity.
It's an amazing product for sure.
Yeah.
Similar to your point about town, like huge opportunity.
Yeah.
No, great company. Well, look, I think we've got to get to the final soon. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks,
Hector.
Seb. Cheers.
All right, I'm back and I'm here with Onstage Hacknight winners. Congratulations. How you all feeling?
Great.
Yeah? Amazing. Can you just do a quick round of introductions? Who you are and what you know tonight?
So I'm Couple, I'm product manager, and we built the audio games system tonight.
Thank you. And I'm Lorik. I'm also a product manager working at Runo. And yeah, we built a little game tonight.
Yeah, my name's Ben. I head up machine learning and AI for a company called Motorway, and yeah, we were just trying to see what we could do really with event labs and Zoom base and a bit of fun. So yeah.
And so the idea was to build a new strategy that essentially simplifies and then you all those. Where did that idea come from?
Yeah, so we were just thinking about this, and we were talking about the fact that games have always needed a screen, like modern games as far as we've known them. But actually now with LLMs and with voice agents and things like that, for the first time, you actually don't need a screen to do something engaging and play a game. And then then we had a 1 hour conversation now about 3 hours to actually build the thing, just talking about what that might look like, and then we landed on a Harry Potter quiz for Matrix.
That's very good. And that use case is quite use case, right? It's like you're in the car, you're driving the car on the street, and where does that go? So it's personal experience.
To be honest, we were just thinking about like a little bit of personal experience, but also what situation can we not use a screen? But a more kind of obvious segment of users for this can also actually be like the blind community, come out use a screen. And that's a huge market in itself. You kind of don't need to play with new types of games and stuff like that. So we were thinking along those lines, but yeah.
Amazing. So one of the prizes of winning is you got to book to this demo game. It's going to be like 3 movies. Are you gonna? Well, how do you book that?
We were just checking our calendars now. We were expecting to win, so I don't know if you guys have anything to add.
So, and you guys did demo to it, right?
No.
You all met tonight.
Yeah.
You banded together. This is how you decided to build, and now you're going to be pitching to hundreds of VCs. It's going to be like over 1,000.
That's pretty mental. I guess it shows the power of these kinds of things, right? I mean, we don't make it before came up on it. Most of the time thinking about the idea to actually building it. But number one, it shows like where the world is these days. It's like people hours and get the ability to that many people with now. Yeah, it's been interesting experience.
I think that's it. Ben, you made a good point, and like something that's exciting about it. This idea in some way is that like it feels like something you can just do now. Like the audio agents are only smart enough now to do tool calling to call super base, so we can really make like multiplayer as a leadership, the leaderboard for this game. So like I think it's also looking 340. Maybe we pick the right thing in terms of where the tech is just able to.
So you just
Yeah.
That's so cool. Are you gonna spend time in the next 7 days trying to build a pitch, build a better product, or I don't know, what do you think?
Well, we've got a WhatsApp group now. Exactly.
So that's good. Well, look, guys, congratulations. It's amazing. I'll see you all hopefully at the Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks very much.